Hi everybody, good morning. Uh, Thanks for giving me opportunity to discuss about our topic. Yeah, I know it's so painful for you to attend on a weekend session for giving a professional space. But yeah, uh, sincere thanks for all that. Uh, yeah, let's begin the uh, things. Here we are here to discuss about the cloud automation using Python and Terraform. Let me break it into pieces and uh, explain you what this topic is and how we are going to drive this course. Uh, so uh, just for confirmation, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
it's audible.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So yeah,
you were able to
let's
hear
go
me.
ahead. Yeah. So uh, Cloud automation. Here, what we are trying to say is like whatever the enterprises are now migrating the applications to the cloud. Okay, so we are taking every picture of that. So what the enterprises are doing for onboarding the applications into cloud. Okay, so what areas they are trying to automate, what areas they are trying to focus. Okay, so keeping all that in the mind, we have named it as a cloud automation, but the back end of this name is like what enterprises are doing for migrating the applications from their legacy architecture into cloud automation. Okay, cloud infrastructure. So what all they are automating, what all they are considering for the application to change. Okay, so keeping all these in the mind, I have collected few things, uh, not few things, in few things in the sense what all are minimally required. So in every area, how the kickstart should be. So that is what I have collected and made it into a course. Okay, and I kept like Python and Terraform. Why I mentioned these two is like, so enterprise always thinks like everything should be automated. Okay, so during this cloud migration, what all things are getting automated? Okay, mostly they are being automated using the Python code only. This is why, because most of the infrastructure supports Python. Okay, so if you see, all the cloud vendors are giving Python SDK. Okay, so that's maybe one of the reason why enterprises are choosing Python. Okay, for automation. So that's the reason I have mentioned Python and Terraform. Okay, Terraform is a infrastructure provisioning tool. Okay, so whatever the infrastructure you want in the cloud, either go with a software where explicitly the cloud is providing, or go for a Terraform where it is widely used, okay, and compatible with 45 plus cloud vendors. Okay, so majority of the automations are being written using Python and Terraform. That's the reason why I mentioned that in the title. Okay, so but going inside of the course, we will see what areas we will touch and what exactly this cloud automation will refer to. Okay, so that is all about this title. Okay, give me a second. I missed where this. Okay, so next, coming to agenda. Okay, so we will discuss this, especially this demo is about to discuss about what this program is, why we are, why we should concentrate on these topics, and how we are going to drive this topic. Okay, and I will finish it off with the questionnaire and conclusion. Okay, so let me introduce about myself. Okay, so my name is Kuna Parameshwara. Okay, I have 11 plus years of experience in IT field. I started as a system administrator, and now I am a principal site reliability engineer. Okay, so where I will deal with cloud and the applications onboarding to the cloud. Okay, so that is what all my site reliability tasks will be. Okay, so wherever the automation is required, I am going to write the automation and make sure that all the applications can uniquely use my automations. That is where I am working on. Okay, so currently I'm associated with a top MNC company, and yeah, uh, so I have been a software developer, I have been a system administrator, and now, yeah, site reliability engineer. So let's see our life cycle. Okay, so in this course, what I am thinking is like, so first we'll start with DevOps, because you know whatever the automations or whatever the applications that need to migrate, or essentially need to use these services. Okay, so if there is something like infrastructure orchestration is there. Okay, so all the orchestration can be done using Ansible. Okay, so and whatever the infrastructure is there, that will be going with AWS cloud. Okay, so here I have used AWS cloud, but that's up to your interest, whichever cloud you choose. But the thing is, like, again, the terminology changes. Overall the background remains the same, but the terminology gets changed, the syntaxes get changed. Okay, so here I have picked AWS because it is widely used by the organizations. But yeah, you can choose any cloud. But yeah, so the syntaxes and the terminology changes that you should keep in mind. Okay, and the containerization and the Kubernetes, so these are all what the infrastructure that currently DevOps is using. Okay, so previously DevOps used to have some tools. Okay, where they used to what control their infrastructure and orchestrate it. But now things have changed a lot. Cloud is coming with a lot of options. Okay, so we can go with cloud services, and apart from that, you need to use other services what I mentioned here. Okay, so these are primarily what the DevOps is using. Okay, then followed by it, once your application is ready, once you are consuming the services and the application is running fine, but still there are some things that we need to concentrate, that is DevSecOps. Okay, so where is your application secured? Is your application any instructions are running inside your application? So you need to check all those. And uh, nowadays I see all the enterprises have their first core value as security, because if you are unable to give the trust to the customer, how reliable you run the application? But the customer is main concerned about his security. Okay, so the second thing here we do is the DevSecOps. Okay, so how we are going to maintain the security? Then comes the pipeline, because once you say like my application got onboarded, my application is running fine, what else is required? Okay, you may think like that, but that's not the case, because application keeps on enhancing. Okay, there will be bug fixes, there will be enhancements, there will be feature requests. Okay, so how do you manage all those? Okay, that is all what pipelining does. So what all tasks need to be done repeatedly for giving your incremental deliverables. Okay, so all those deliverables should be pipelined. Okay, so once you write some business logic, the everything on top of that till the production, okay, it should be pipelined. Okay, so this is where the pipelining comes into picture. Okay, so the next thing is we concentrate on pipeline. Okay, so the last thing is post automation task. Okay, so the post automation task is like whatever your pipeline or whatever you have done, you need to intimate your customers or your developers or the team. Okay, so for this, how do you automate? Okay, so in the background, for the every steps in the life cycle I mentioned, will have some automations running. Okay, so we need to see how these automations are. Okay, so what areas can be automated? Okay, so yeah, these are the things what we are going to cover in the course. Okay, this is a pattern how it goes. Okay, so let's jump on to each thing and see how what we are concentrating. Okay, in each part. Okay, so before to that, just I want to explain you what are the responsibilities of a DevOps engineer. Okay, because when I say cloud automation, there may be different designations. Maybe I am a site reliability engineer, but there are some other designations like DevOps engineer. Okay, architect, DevOps architect. So different roles point to the same functionalities. Okay, whatever the roles you do, okay, the responsibilities you have, okay, will be almost the same. Okay, so I have mentioned few responsibilities of what our uh, automation engineers to do. Okay, so that is maintaining and creating the infrastructure. Okay, so how do you maintain and create the infrastructure? Using any EAS provision, EAS tools, right? So in the EAS tools, what we need to do, we need to write the Terraform templates. Okay, and you need to make sure that the whatever the state means, all the infrastructure what you are provisioning is, needs to have some state. Okay, so this state is well maintained. Okay, so whatever whenever higher management asks, yeah, today how many storage we are using, what is the storage we are using, means you are supposed to pull all the storage related things, and you need to give a picture to them. Okay, so all that comes under maintaining and creating the infrastructure. Okay, maintain unique configuration. So whatever the servers you are running for your application, okay, should have a unique configuration. Okay, so you may choose any tool. I have gone for Ansible, but there are other tools, right? Chef, uh, still many are there. Okay, Puppet. Okay, but Ansible is the one which can do a lot of stuff. Okay, uh, while compared to Chef, Puppet, and all those. Okay, so Chef only binds for the imaging related things. Okay, so it can't go to the server level. So that's the reason why I have choose Ansible. Okay, so continuous integration and deployment. So that is Jenkins, what it would take care. Other than Jenkins, we have Git, CI/CD, and I think AWS is also giving AWS code pipeline. Okay, so we can use that. And migrations. Okay, so whatever the, as like I mentioned, the database migrations or the endpoint migrations and all these, because when it is an on-premises cloud, no problem, but when you are going to cloud, you should create some endpoints, and then via endpoints you need to get the traffic and all those. Okay, so monitoring is another very important concept, because how do you observe what is happening with your infrastructure? Okay, and then security, again I mentioned, like every organization core value is security. Okay, so unless we are giving trust to our customers, okay, we cannot uh, gain business from the customers. Okay, so on-call support and operations. Okay, so these are what on-call support, in the sense whatever uh, uh, the failure happens. Okay, so in our infrastructure we need to give a quick fix. Anything is breaking, we need to fix. Okay, within no time. For that reason, we are going for on-call support with operations. So these are mostly the roles and responsibilities. Why I mentioned these roles and responsibilities are because our course will cover these scenarios, keeping in mind. Okay, so uh, the next part is infrastructure. Okay, so now whatever the infrastructure you need. Okay, so whatever the application you are trying to design needs some infrastructure. Let's say it may be a database, okay, it may be a web server, means you need some easy to computes, okay, or else any other which can host your application, okay, any resource, okay. Then you may need Kafka, you may need okay, storage buckets and different types of storages, okay, anything that comes under the infrastructure, right? So first infrastructure should be there, then only you can host your application on top of that infrastructure, okay. So this infrastructure we are concentrating using Python and Terraform, okay. So Terraform alone you cannot provision the infrastructure, because I mean to say Terraform can provision the infrastructure, but what the enterprise's expectation is that also need to get automated, okay. So if I am the customer, I will not write the Terraform code and ask the uh, what the provider to give me the infrastructure, right? So I need few EC2 instances, then I may need some automation which will generate the Terraform code, and Terraform will be what provisioning me, will communicate with the cloud, and it will be provisioning the infrastructure for me, okay. So if I have an application, if I want a replica of that application, I should not write again all the Terraform code and all that. So I need to have some automation in the backend. Okay. So if a customer needs 10 subnets, okay, for his application, okay, so he should request via some web UI or something like that, and that automation should generate the Terraform code, and that Terraform code should go with talk with the cloud provider. So for this all to happen, okay, for this all to happen, okay, we need to have a Python uh, scripts running where it can generate the code for us, okay. So whatever the code might be, it might, I have taken example of Terraform, but remember here there may be some YAML files, there may be some JSON files, there may be some uh, other of Docker files, okay. So if you want to regenerate this, you need to have an automation, okay. So that is the point what I am trying to tell here. So whatever the infrastructure you want to create, you need to have some files ready which can talk with the cloud provider, okay. It may be a Docker file, it may be a Kubernetes YAML file, it may be a JSON file, it may be a Terraform file, okay. How do you write the automations to generate these things, okay. So that is where a combination of Python plus your infrastructure provisioning files will come into picture, okay. So that is what currently organizations are trying to do, okay. So they are not expecting you to write the Terraform code every time there is a requirement coming up, okay. So you should dynamically, your automation should generate those Terraform files, okay, and they can be talking to the cloud provider. So you can interrupt me anytime uh, when you don't understand the things what I am trying to say. Okay. So it's not like at the end you need to ask the questions. Interrupt me anytime. But if it is taking consuming time, I will shift that question to end. Okay. And a small request, please provide your details in the chat. Okay. So that we can understand you better. Okay. So yeah, the next coming thing is, okay, uh, I'm going with a different example again, okay. So if we have the before case, I just have given you a brief idea of what the automations regarding infrastructure is, okay. So now I'm going with a specific example, like we have an elastic search, okay. So elastic search, what it does, it collects the information, okay, and we can query on top of that information. So there are some logs, okay, where you want to uh, 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 query on top of that logs. Okay, how many users have uh, browser my website. Okay, if such thing, and which regions they are. Okay, if I want to query such things, we need to have a log for that web service, and that log will be consumed by Elasticsearch. Okay, and on top of the Elasticsearch we can run some queries. Okay, and we can store the information whatever is required, okay, into our bucket. But here the scenario is like, how about the access? Okay, so how the Elasticsearch will access to our bucket? Okay, so there are different ways to access. Okay, so one may be token based. Okay, so if you try to automate it using Python, okay, so you can go with a token based automation. If you are going with Terraform, okay, you can attach a IAM role and you can give the access. Okay, so here my point is, which automation should be taken, which should be considered. Okay, when we have different ways of doing the automation, okay, which automation should be considered is also a uh, critical thing. Okay, so now the thing is like, the Terraform behavior is like, whenever you are spinning or whenever you are provisioning the infrastructure, then only it will what it will implement the things. Okay, so if the Elasticsearch service have been deployed, okay, at the same time it will attach an IAM role to your instance and it will give you the access. But imagine, will the infrastructure remain the same till the lifelong? So that's not the case, right? So the compute instance may go wrong, so we may change the compute instance. Okay, or else there may be some other service coming in between. Okay, so then you need to again re-provision all the infrastructure, because if you are doing such things using Terraform, it's only a one-time job. Okay, once it is provisioned, the Terraform job is done. Okay, so in such cases, okay, we, for this case we cannot choose Terraform, because it's this particular uh, 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 giving authorization, okay, using IAM won't hold good for such scenarios. Okay, so if you go for Python, what happens is like, Python is a automation running in your backend, right? So it will always provide the token and reach to Elasticsearch, and then it reaches to bucket. Okay, so such automation, so as you are doing an action, if there is some enhancement coming into picture, you can easily write that code into your Python and you can change the things. Okay, so always what I feel is like, provision using Terraform, do the action using Python. Okay, you will be learning a lot on this, okay, during our course, where to use Terraform and how to segregate between the action items, between the infrastructure. Okay, so creating an EC2 instance is a provisioning. Okay, but stopping the EC2 instance, starting the EC2 instance, okay, terminating it, all these actions will go via Python. Okay, so you will be learning a lot on what are action items and what are one time setup. Okay, so these are the few things I want I thought to explain, okay, by giving this example. So the next thing is, uh, yeah, this is the other one where to make you a better understanding of why the automation is required. Okay, so here I have chosen some modules, but here the concept is like, whatever the services are running, okay, let's say here I have mentioned Elasticsearch, but consider any service that is running in your AWS, okay. The problem with for the enterprises is like the service will do its job in a great way, okay. It will be performing a different types of activities and all those, but the problem is communication between two services. That's the big problem, because the cloud providers will give in a very generic way where anyone can use the service, but the problem is the enterprises needs a lot of customizations to use those services, okay. So let's say if it is a Cisco, okay, so the Cisco has 100 different products, okay. It has network related products, it has WebEx as a product, okay. So everything comes under a single cloud and their single private networks. So again, there should be isolation between the infrastructure of one product to other product, right? So in that case, what happens is like there needs a lot of automation to make that isolation, okay, between that cloud services. At the same, so when I mention isolation, the thing is like how the resources will communicate, okay. So based on your automation only they can get a chance to communicate between each other, okay. So here I have taken a Elasticsearch example, like the Kafka is one module where it will um, collect all the information, okay. So it will pull the information as well as it will collect the information. So whatever the information it collected, so it can be it will be giving to Logstash, okay. So Logstash is again a different module, okay, altogether. So the Logstash can filter any data coming to it, okay. So it can filter based on the filter criteria you have written, okay. Again, when the Logstash filters the things, it need to store somewhere, right? So generally we give it to the Elasticsearch. So here the thing is even if you don't want to give it for Elasticsearch, you can give it to directly to bucket, okay. So here my main intention is like whatever the modules are there, okay. So here they require some more automation, like Logstash as it is a module, okay. So how it will filter the things? So we are, as like I mentioned it, we will be writing some queries on top of that, okay. Does this queries we will write manually, and does it's is it a one time setup, okay. So that we need to think. So today our customer tells one thing, based on that we will write the query. Tomorrow he comes up with like his business has been increased, so the query should be increased, okay. So all this is a again a routine things, okay. So they will be repeated, okay. So such kind of things should go with an automation, okay. So here whatever the filter is there for that Logstash, I'm using a Python automation and I'm writing the filter, okay. At the same time query, so whatever the queries are running on top of this storage and indexing, okay, I'm writing an automation. So like this, for every module or every service you select, okay, every service in order to communicate with the other service, there is a automation required, okay. At the same time, in order to customize the service, there is an automation required, okay. That is where enterprises are looking for, okay. So as I know, when we are studying only DevOps, we will completely study about it, the tool, okay, how the tool is taking the input, how the tool is giving the output, how that tool is visualizing, okay. So what are the commands in the tool? Generally, we will learn all those, but the problem is like for the enterprises, okay, their main intention is, of course, the expertise in that particular tool is required, but the problem is like if given a customization, how do you handle that, okay. You know completely about the tool, but if you are not uh, aware of how to customize it, then there is no point why uh, no point of your expertise giving to that enterprise, okay, or to that organization, okay. So that is where mainly we see the lacking skills, okay. So and our course will focus on that particular point. So here I need to clearly tell, like, whatever the service we are studying in our course, okay, we are not focusing on studying the tool or that service in depth, okay. We are focusing on how to automate that, how to customize that. That is the thing what we are concentrating, okay. All right. So next, going for the Kubernetes. Okay. So to get some more awareness on how our course will be, okay, I have mentioned this example. I'm not going to explain a complete what Kubernetes is, but here, see, Kubernetes in a brief way to tell, okay. Kubernetes runs the microservices where it can orchestrate the microservices. Okay, in the Docker, just you can spin up the container or you can spin down the container, but Kubernetes is where it can completely orchestrate your containers, when to run your containers, how to run your containers, how many to run your containers. All those can be orchestrated. Okay, but the problem is, like, straight away you cannot use the Kubernetes. Let's say it is ELK. Okay, so ELK is the sorry, EKS. Okay, EKS is the one which AWS is providing as their Kubernetes service engine. Okay, so let us take that only. So if we have purchased an EKS in the uh, AWS, okay, straight away can we deploy the applications of what our customers have? Okay, so in the problem is, like, how stable, okay, will be the application in going in a long run. Okay, so as who are the admins of this Kubernetes, okay, they keep on changing. So every organization, the employees are not permanent, right? So they keep on changing. Okay, here one of the problem what we observed is, like, so in order to debug the problems that are happening inside the nodes, okay, so the nodes are nothing but the compute instances, the EC2 instances running behind your Kubernetes infrastructure. Okay, so these instances will have some problems. Okay, there may be problems like the storage is not getting mounted, or else the problem will be like Kubernetes upgrade. Okay, so see, now it is something like 1.21 Kubernetes. Later they will come up with 1.22, 1.23. Okay, Kubernetes will be releasing the versions so fast. Okay, so whenever the version gets released, we are bumping the nodes. Okay, and we cannot install that inside the node. What we do will do, we will remove that particular node and we will create a new node with a new version, and then we will tell the EKS that yes, the new node has been created. Now you can put all your deployments, all your pods inside this node. Okay, in such scenarios what happens is, like, ideally everything should happen dynamically. Okay, so when you remove the node, all the deployments should go on to other node or on hold, and then whenever the new node comes, immediately they should all come. That is what the ideal scenario we think, but in real time that will not happen. Okay, there will be problems with the storage, okay, the PVCs. Okay, the services may not create on time. Okay, so at that situation we need to go into the back end and see what is happening. Okay, and for that to check, the resources need access, right, from the back end. So what happens is, like, as these employees are moving, okay, so who is going out, all his credentials should be revoked. Okay, and all his public keys which are attached should be revoked. Okay, so all these things should happen whenever a new employee comes. All his public keys should be added to all the nodes. Okay, so for all such scenarios, EKS is not providing any service to you. Okay, your that is your specific task. Okay, so that you should automate. Okay, so EKS will not provide any service for that. So I have gone with one example, but here there are lot many things that the cloud providers will not give any service for us. Okay, so we need to automate all those services. Okay, so that is where again the automations are required. Okay, so here we are trying, here in this example I have shown how the API service server tokens will be generated. Okay, how the certs will be added, how the SSH keys will be added. Okay, so all these are related to security and our automation. Okay, so those are all the few examples what I have given. Okay, just to make you understand why automations are required in cloud infrastructure. And if you observe, most of the automations what I mentioned, the examples and are relied on either using Terraform and using Python. Okay, so as they are majorly contributing, I have mentioned that in the title, and in the whole course we will be learning about this Python and Terraform. Okay, so then coming to system automation. Okay, now I am going a bit, I'm narrowing down a bit. Okay, when you write an automation, what you need to consider. Okay, so whatever the automation you write, they they should be platform specific, right? So they are platform dependent. Either your automation runs on Windows or your automation runs on Linux. Okay, so the benefit of using Python is like, Python is platform independent. Okay, you can communicate with Linux, you can communicate with Windows. Okay, you have a mechanism to identify which platform, and on top of that you can run the commands. Okay, all these things are there in Python. That is the reason why we are Python is getting a widely accepted language for the automations. Okay, so the other point is like Amazon Web Services. Okay, so here also Amazon Web Services is providing Python SDK. Of course, every cloud provider is providing a Python SDK. Almost the APIs will also look the same. Okay, just you can take the template, you can edit as per your business logic, and you can run your code. Okay, so here we are considering AWS. Okay, so here we will be dealing with the Python SDK provided by AWS. Okay, that is Bodo 3, and we will do a lot of action items on top of that. Okay, so yeah, these are the few things that are related to automation. Okay, so now I would like to tell how we are going to drive the classes. Okay, so the main thing is like the basics. The basics play a major role, because if you don't know the basics clearly, okay, when we go step into writing the automation scripts, okay, you may again understand it's like a dots. Okay, so in order to connect all those dots, okay, we need to have a strong foundations on the basics. Okay, so we will start with the basics. So here the thing is like we have two basics, right? One is Terraform basics and other one is Python basics. So a week I will take Terraform basics, a week I will take Python basics. Okay, so And remember, in when I am saying Terraform basics and Python basics, whatever the content I select, okay, it's not like the entire basics I will cover. Okay, I will cover you the basics in such a way that you can write any automation. Okay, till automation we will cover the basics. Okay, so what all pythonic concepts are required to write a infrastructure related scripts, or uh, uh, one auto I mean infrastructure related scripts, or any such automation like providing an action parts. Okay, so all such basics will be covered. Okay, related to Terraform we will cover, related to Python we will cover. Okay, so let's say uh, data types are there. Okay, I will tell about the string. Okay, and I will give you the material about the int, float, and all those. I don't want to waste time on explaining all the data types in detail. I will go with a single data type, and I will let you know how to get knowledge on the other data types. Okay, so that we can quickly jump on to our automation scripts. Okay, and when if we encounter any other type of data types that during our automation, we can come back. Okay, and see the notes. Okay, so that is what my main intention is. So I have mentioned what the few basics we are going to do. This is with respect to Terraform and with respect to Python language. Okay, so more you can find it out in our content page. Okay, so then operating system we have. Okay, so because we are mostly using infrastructure related, right? So the operating system plays a major role. So you need to see how you are controlling the operating, communicating with the operating system, controlling the operating system task, as well as your file operations and all those, and file processing. So most of the automation scripts may go with file processing, right? So if you want to give the bunch of subnets or the bunch of machines or something like that, okay, you need to go with uh, file processing. So we will be mostly concentrating on um, AWS here. So uh, yeah, so all this file processing and all these things will be discussed. Okay, then testing and debugging. This is one more important concept. Okay, how to debug your code either in Terraform or in Python. We cannot expect like whatever the code we write, it will do the things as we expected, right? It will not do. You should know how to debug your code. That is where productive development will come into picture. Okay, so some people will keep on print statements. Okay, so that print statements won't hold good if your automation is taking 10 minutes to run. Okay, so let's say your automation is taking 10 minutes to run. At the end you have kept the print statement. So every time you change the logic, you should wait for 10 minutes to see your output, right? So that should not be the case. Okay, so you should know how productively you can uh, develop the code. For this to happen, you should know how to handle the exceptions, how to handle the debugging. Okay, so stop the code execution in between, see how the uh, uh, characteristics are on your variables. Okay, accordingly change your code and continue your code. Okay, so this debugging is very important, and when we are writing the automations, I will explain you how to debug, how to test your code. Okay, all right, so now the tools what we mostly will be using the Docker containers in this course. Okay, so some tools may be readily available in containers instead of installing them. Okay, so in such scenarios I will pick the Docker containers. Okay, and some things on cloud API. Okay, so whatever the cloud APIs are being provided, we'll consume those cloud APIs, and we are going to write the automations using those APIs. And then infrastructure as code, wherever the infrastructure is required. Okay, we will be using the Terraform, and we will be using this. And every automation we write, we will mostly three also will come into picture. Okay. Okay, the I'm going bit faster here. So implementation stack, Docker, as like I said, we'll be using lot of Docker containers readily available in Docker Hub. Okay, 5 modules. So all the Python related modules, whatever the third party modules are there, I will be telling you before. Okay, we will be using the third party modules and we will be implementing the things. Deployment, so packaging, this is one other important concept. Like whatever the automation we create, we need to package that at the end, right? So we are preparing some automation, means we will not tell the user like, okay, give this command, then this, we will not tell like that, right? So we should package it, we should send it, and the customer should use it like a framework. Okay, so that is how the automation should be uh, shipped. Okay, so for this, what to do, we will be studying in the packaging and monitoring and logging. This is also an important concept, like observability. Okay, so how we will monitor, how we will log. Okay, these things also we are going to study in this automations. Okay, so uh, any prerequisites. So I believe in this demo also, whatever I spoke, I have spoke about some uh, uh, tools, some technology things. Okay, so what I believe is like, in order to write an automation, you should have at least a hands-on experience on what that tool is. Okay, so what I am trying to do is, first 1 or 2 days we will discuss about that tool. Okay, we will discuss how in a snippets of things, like a small code, how the tool how the module is behaving. So by that time you will be getting aware of what that tool is. Okay, but the more knowledge you have on that particular DevOps module, the more the automation you can increase. Okay, the business logic you can increase. Okay, so that is what here I mean. So the DevOps module means, in the module, I will give you a brief understanding of what that module does and everything. But the more knowledge you have on that particular module, the more automation business logic you can write on top of that module. Okay, so that is one thing. Hands-on on Linux. Okay, so because we will be using mostly Linux, we will be dealing with the Linux. Okay, so if you have hands-on on Linux, like how to edit a file in the runtime, because see, every time we cannot edit the file in the what in your IDE, and you can push it to Git. Okay, sometimes there will be a requirement like, on the run, you go into your Linux machine, change edit the code, and again rerun it. Okay, so in such scenarios, okay, we need to have a hands-on in Linux. Okay, moving the files, copying the files, such things and all commands. Okay, and time for practice, this is more important, because our course is the automation, right? So what happens is like, in the complete everyday class will be the same. Like, I will be writing the code, I will be explaining the code, I will be running the code. Okay, every class will be the same, and I will be pushing that code to Git. Okay, the problem is here, if you are unable to write the same code, okay, after understanding, okay, means you are not uh, getting anything out of this course. Okay, so whatever the code I write, you will try to understand during the class and replica the same. Okay, for your practice, so try to again write the same code. Okay, and maybe that code may be more optimized. Okay, more reliable than what the code I have written. Okay, so uh, we will have a collaboration there. Okay, using Git, I will be pushing my code to Git, as well as you can also push your code to Git, and we can leverage again. we can compare and we can see how optimized the code is, okay, and all the things, okay, and mainly how the enterprises are expecting. These all the things will be discussed in our code reviews, okay. So this is mostly what I thought of bringing, okay. So before conclusion, just I am going through the content what we will be dealing with, okay. So what I am thinking is, first we will be taking the basics of Terraform, okay. Then we will be going with the basics of Python. See, I have chosen here basics of Python, meaning it's not like only basic Python. It's a combination of advanced Python and Python. But I have chosen the topics in such a way that which are required for automation. Okay, let's see a arc parser. Okay, arc parser is something like what are the command line arguments we send along with our Python file. Okay, such things are important, right? So for automation. So like that, I have chosen few things, okay. Then I have gone with the DevOps, okay. First, we will be dealing with the system automation, because whatever we are dealing, okay, everything has a OS running, right? So whenever we write some automation, okay, we will be uh, we need to know how Python interacts with the operating systems, okay. So for this, we will be studying all the automation operating system related things. As we know, here we are dealing with the operating system related things. Here we will be writing the automation, okay, for a cron job creation using Ansible, okay. So every topic we read, okay, we will have an automation in parallel. But the thing is, like, see, Monday to Thursday, okay, or Monday to Wednesday, we will be discussing about the tool and its associated what Pythonic automation, okay, Pythonic or else Terraform. uh, so here, see, Terraform in the basics only you will learn everything, okay. So what we will do here is, we will write the Terraform script what is required for our automation, okay. So here, for preparing the cron job, what we require a EC2 instance. Here I need not to tell you the Terraform, okay. Just I will tell, like, create a EC2 instance using Terraform. Go to the basic classes what I have said, okay. Pick the Terraform template there and write your Terraform template for EC2 instance. That's what will happen, okay. Once the basics of Terraform is completed, mostly what I need to tell about Terraform is completed, okay. So whatever the requirements comes, you are ready to write the Terraform code. That is what the uh, expectation is, okay. So here we will be studying about the Python and the operating system, and uh, the Pythonic code, and Friday Saturday we will be writing the automation, okay. And Saturday is only to check with you guys how your automation is running. If anyone has some blockers or something, we can discuss on Saturday, okay. So initially for 2 to 3 Saturdays we will not have classes, but from the next we will have classes. Just we will collaborate there, we will discuss what is happening from your side, okay. So Thursday, Friday, we will be writing the automation. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you will be discussing about the tool and the associated Python code for it. Okay. So once the automation is completed, we will be dealing with the AWS Python SDK and its related services. Okay. So we will be discussing about the services, and it may take some time. Okay. So whatever the services are there, okay, I'll be explaining the services, I will be explaining the Pythonic code, and then we will be writing some automation here, okay. So this, if you see, it is again a uh, uh, it is arranged in such a way that this automation, when you are writing this automation, this will require the knowledge of your Python SDK, the knowledge of system automation. Okay. With that knowledge, you can write this automation, and you will be using the Git automation also. The next Kubernetes services we will be studying. Okay, and when you are writing this automation, again you need to have a knowledge of all the above. Okay, so that is how you will revise all the things during your automation. So how I will do is, I will not rewrite all the scripts for you again. Whatever we have written the scripts earlier, we will just copy that script and we will extend those scripts in order to fulfill the business logic here. Okay, then DevSecOps. DevSecOps is very important concept, as like I mentioned before. Okay, so what are the Docker files you write, what are the YAML files you write, are these are are your lines of code are secure things or not, that we need to check. For example, let's say I am giving access to buckets. So AWS is providing like, put a star, you will get access to all the buckets. But an enterprise level, is it secure to give access to all the buckets? That is not the case, right? That's not an ideal scenario also. Why you need access to all the buckets? Your application needs few buckets. List those buckets and give it. So here we need to have a policy like no Terraform or no Python script or no Docker file or no uh, Ansible script should have star in it. Okay, and it is based on the context. I'm not telling a simple thing. Okay, like star. Okay, so based on the context, you need to write the policies. Here the main agenda is to provide security. Okay, so whenever you are generating an infrastructure, whenever you are writing an automation, okay, here the main concept is how you are providing the security while you are writing the scripts itself. That is what enterprises are looking now. Okay, so now uh, that concepts and network policies. Okay, so network policies is something like what are the vulnerabilities in your instances running, what is the how the instances are connecting to other instances, where the connections are happening. Okay, all these things should be secured in the sense, first you should not allow the connection. That is what. So prior to your uh, application running only, you need to create all the firewalls and barriers. That is what the enterprises are looking now. Okay, so that is how I have kept this DevSecOps, and we will be writing the automations on top of this DevSecOps. Okay, then automation pipeline. So for this we will be using Jenkins. Okay, so the Jenkins, again, I'm not explaining, I will not explain all the Jenkins tool, what are the Jenkins features. I'm not going to explain all those. I will explain you how to use the Jenkins to run a pipeline and make sure that whatever the automations we are creating are able to run in your Jenkins automation. Okay, so how are the unit tests running? Okay, how are the pipe tests running in the Jenkins automation? These are the things what we are going to cover in the Jenkins. Okay, then post automation. So you need to send some notifications, you need to copy the data from the databases to databases. Okay, these are all post automation tasks what will happen. Okay, so these are all the things we are going to discuss during our course. Okay, so this is mostly what uh, I want to convey. Okay, uh, I'm going through the chart now. Okay, to see if any questions are there. Which cloud you will be teaching for automation? I will be choosing AWS. Okay, so all the infrastructure, Terraform, everything related will be related to AWS only. So which IDE you use? So I use PyCharm. Okay, so if I'm not very much particular about a IDE, because uh, it's all the end of the day, it's all that where your code you are writing, and is your IDE helping you for syntaxing your code or not, that is important. Okay, you may use Atom, you may use Sublime Text, you may use any other tool. Okay, but at the end of the day, it should help you in syntaxing your code. That is what important is. I'm going with PyCharm. Okay, which will be easy for doing some git operations and uh, code as well. So I prefer that. You can use Visual Studio Code also, okay, with some extensions. Okay. This is what all the things about. You can ask the questions, shoot anything is there. So generally see when it will start and all the management related things you can ask to you can ask management. Okay, generally it will take 1 hour. Okay, so that is what my previous experience is. Okay, per day 1 hour, and first 2 to 3 Saturdays we will not have, and then we'll start collaborating on Saturdays, and we'll have our formal course running uh, on the um weekdays. Okay, yeah, so yeah, we will be creating the groups as like our management is saying. Okay, so for Terraform, still I use PyCharm only. Okay, there is nothing particular IDE for Terraform. Okay, we have an extension in PyCharm. Okay, for .tf extensions. Okay, so we can install that and we can use PyCharm only.
Yeah, hi Parmesh. This is Srinivas.
Hi, yeah,
Yeah,
Srinivas.
may I know the yeah, hi. May I know the total course hours or how much duration we have for this?
So this will be going like 40 to 45 classes. Okay, I'll be showing you this. See,
Okay, and this is a
uh,
personal question also. Do you have any plan to take the leaves between these durations?
see, we will be having 30 to 35 classes. Apart from that, we have some automations also, right? So automations will be taking again a separate classes. Okay. So in the previous we have done 3 automations. Now I believe we are going with the 5 automations. So as the batch by batch, we are enhancing the syllabus and we are including the stuff which mostly enterprise are expecting. But this is how the things will be. Okay. So every class we will be pushing the code to Terraform, sorry, Git, and we will be uh, having some notes also there as a README. Means whatever the STD out is there,
Yeah,
whatever all there, I will
Parmesh.
be capturing there.
Yeah, Parmesh. Actually, my question was, do you have any plans to take the leaves in this course duration? That is what I'm asking actually.
Leaves means
Yeah.
there may
Uh,
not be a long vacation. Okay,
okay,
if
because the
it
last
may
time
be a
I got
day
this kind of
vacation. Hmm?
experience. That's right. In the last time I got this kind of experience, like in the mid of course, what happened? The trainer went, vacations like a long time in some other area. That's why
Okay,
I'm
there
asking.
will be no long vacations.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
maybe a day. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, if I miss a day, the next day or the coming Saturday, as like I said, like Saturday is only for collaboration. I will not teach anything. Just we will
No, no.
collaborate.
Can you,
We will see.
my question is when trainer take the long leaves, then what happened? Maybe that will be affect on my working hours because there is some shift timings for me. So based on that, I
Okay,
have to plan.
that will
That's what
not be the case. No, no. So no long vacations. Okay.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I have one
If,
question. Uh,
hmm.
would these classes be held and taught on AWS cloud, or would Microsoft Azure be included as well?
No, only on AWS.
Okay. So I am working where I am working. We primarily work on Microsoft Azure. So would you suggest any way to link
Yeah,
these
that's
learnings
what
into
I'm
that?
telling. So may I tell about AWS, but the Terraform is again compatible with Azure also, right? So
Yes.
I think the terminology will change. Okay, but the concepts remains the same. So when I tell the Terraform script for AWS, you need to find a way how we can use the same script for Azure. The terminology, what it changes, okay? I will tell how to find out, okay, in AWS where the templates are and everything. Similar things are there in the Azure also, okay? So you can go, you can get the template there. How we are doing this, we will be doing the same thing in Azure.
So the resource templates would only change for Microsoft Azure, but the technique would remain the same. But the Python part would have Boto 3, which is specific to AWS. So
Correct,
that part
correct.
I would need
Again,
to.
yeah, APIs will change. So you need to find out which APIs are there in Azure for satisfying the same business logic.
Okay, all right. Can you help me
Uh,
eventually like finding the right set of knowledge resources for those?
Maybe I can provide you the links, okay? But
Mm,
it's help in the sense, see, if it is a part like one or two cases to study, we can do. But if there is a big stack that you need help on, again, that will
mm.
be a long time consuming thing,
Right, right,
right?
right. Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
so in one or two resources, yeah, I can do that.
Okay,
And
all right.
primarily I work on AWS cloud and Oracle cloud. I
Mm.
don't work on Azure cloud. Okay, so there so finding out the right things for Azure, I need to again once browse the things there. Okay, how
Mhm.
Azure is providing, or I need to speak with my co-tutor. Okay, who are expertise in Azure. Okay, and I can get the information to you.
Okay, so there must be courses on Microsoft Azure specific as well that you must be providing.
Yes, yes, we provide that. Yes, you can talk with management. So where they are providing, especially for Azure, understanding the Azure concepts.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Hi,
So,
Kishan this
yeah.
side.
Hi,
I have
Kishan.
a small doubt. So, I am working as a SRE right now,
Okay,
and I have worked on all these tools, Terraform, Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins.
okay.
But I am from non-coding background. So, is this course beneficial for me because I want to learn Python scripting?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. So people will have more knowledge on the tools, but the enterprise expectation will be writing automations and customization on top of the tools. Okay, and this course is for that purpose only. Okay, how do you automate the things? Okay, so every class we will be writing the code, we will be automating something. Okay, we'll pick a service, we will be seeing what automation is required or customization is required, and we will start writing the code for that particular use case. Okay, so that is what this course is for. Got your
So,
point?
after this
Hmm.
course, will I be capable enough to write these scripts for my organization?
Yes, that's what our intention is also. We I have kept 5 automation examples also. With that, you should get a full confidence on how you can on writing the automation. Okay, here we are not only discussing about the Pythonic code. Okay, we are discussing about the automations also. That is the reason why I kept for every topic, I have kept the automation down, what we are doing. In when we are writing the automation, you should get a clear picture of how we are using Python and how we are communicating with the service. So that is what that is what the enterprises are also doing. Okay, the same thing we will do here.
Okay, so the last question is, so do I need to learn core Python or advanced Python before starting this
No,
course?
no,
Something.
no. We will be for a week. I will be taking Pythonic concepts only. That is the reason why that Saturday I'm not uh, what I'm not considering, because when we are talking about basics, I don't think we need a collaboration there. Okay, so first I will teach you the whole basics. I'll give you the weekend time for you to study. Okay, then we will go for the concepts, then we will start writing the automations, and that Saturdays we will discuss any blocking items or anything that we need to do in the automation. Okay, so from the scratch I will start. So there is no you need not to worry about that. Okay, but the thing is everything is connected. Okay, if you miss the sessions, okay, then you will be missing something in the other in the next topic also while writing the automation. So automations are designed in such a way that the previous all topics knowledge is required. Okay, what I will do is I will copy those scripts, I will paste the scripts, and then we will enhance the coding. That is what will happen on every automation we are going to write.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you so much.
Yeah, notes, that's what I'm showing. Okay, so whatever the class happens, all the class code will be pushed to Git, as well as the notes will be provided in the README. So whatever if we have some std out or some commands we are running, okay, so we will have some readme there. Okay, uh, and that std out I will be keeping. So like this we will be taking the outputs and we will be pasting that. Okay, so whatever is required I will be keeping it in the stdout.txt or readme file. Okay, so the folder specific you will be having readme. Okay, so and whatever the notes class specific I will prerequisites or something are there, I will put it in the main readme. So yeah, every session will be recorded, so you can get the recording. If you miss some class, you can take the recording and you can listen to that. All right, we are top of an hour. Okay, any last question? Okay, fine. Thanks for all your time. Okay, hope we will talk to you again soon. Bye guys.